Dividing by decimals, 3-5. Now, let's talk about the way it's written. 3.78 divided by 4.2. Which number goes in the box? The first number always goes inside the box. So, 3.78 inside the box and 4.2 outside the box. Now, you can't divide with a decimal on the outside of the box. You have to move it over. So, over, over, up. So that means what you're really dividing is 42 now. You're using that. And 3, 7.8, and there's your decimal. First thing to do when you're dividing decimals, make sure you're putting the first number in the box. Make sure that you're doing over, over, up whenever you have a decimal out here. Now, we're ready to divide. We already did over, over, up. So we have to decide how many times we think 42 will go into 378. You ignore the decimal and pretend it's like a whole number. Okay, and it's okay if we have to add zeros out here. We're going to add zeros. It doesn't matter how many until it starts to repeat or it comes out even. So I have no idea how many to add. We're going to find out. So we're going to try to decide how many times 42 will go in to 378. Well, let's start by estimating how many times would 4 go into 37. Well, 4 will go 9 times into 37. So it might be 9. It could be 8. Okay, but we're going to try 9. So 42 times 9, 2 times 9 is 18. That's 36 plus 1. That's, oh my goodness, look at that, 378. Now, how do we know where to write the 9? You look at the very last number here, and you write the 9 above it. So the 9 goes there. And remember that decimal? So the answer is 0.9. Okay, here's our next problem. The first thing we're going to consider is we have a negative divided by a positive. So we're going to go ahead and decide right now that our answer is going to be negative. Because when you're multiplying or dividing things, a negative and a positive makes a negative. A negative divided by a positive is a negative. Or if you were multiplying, you'd get negative. So go ahead and decide this now, and then you don't have to worry about the negative, because you know you're going to put a negative sign on the answer. Now, second thing to think of, which number goes in the box? The first number goes in the box. Now, I know it's -9, but I'm only going to put the positive number in the box because I already decided that my answer was negative. So I don't need to worry about the negative anymore. This goes outside the box. Now, I can't divide if I have a decimal over here. I have to do over, over, up. So I'm going to go over twice, and up. So my new problem that I'm dividing ends up to be 305 divided into 976. And here's my decimal, because I may have to add some zeros to make it come out even or until it repeats. I don't really know. So, now, time to divide. I have to say, well, how many times would 300 go into 900? Or I could say, how many times would 30 go into 97? Well, that's about 3 times. So I'm going to try 3 first. Okay? So 305 times 3 is going to be 915. So that will work. So 9, 15. Where does the 3 go? It goes right over the last digit, so it goes right here. Okay, then I'm going to subtract, and I get 61. And I bring down one of my added zeros, and I say, well, 305 looks like it would go about 2 times into 610. So, times 2, oh my goodness, that gives me 610. How exciting. And I'm done, because that's going to give me 0. So, 3.2 is the answer. Hold on, though. What did we decide at the beginning? What did we decide at the beginning? The answer is negative. So we have to be sure to go back and check that and put our negative sign. It's negative 3.2. Here is your video homework. Good luck. Remember, first, decide if the answer is negative or positive. Second, put the first number in the box. Third, do over, over, up if you have decimals on the outside of the box. Fourth, if you need to add zeros, that's okay because you keep dividing until it comes out even or until it repeats. I will tell you right now that these problems all are going to come out. They're not going to repeat. They're not going to go on and on forever. So if you find yourself dividing on and on and on, you probably have a mistake. Have a great evening.